Should you give lifetime access to your online course? It's a question that we are going to explore today, so stay tuned. Welcome to the Stellar Way for Course Creators. This is a YouTube channel to help you be able to design, create, and launch your online course. So, should you give lifetime access to your online course or not? I know that you want to add an extra bonus in. I know how alluring it is to just easily type on your landing page lifetime access. And it can be attractive to your students as well, especially those students that are on the fence. It's an additional bonus for them. But what does it really mean? And can you truly offer it? So here are some considerations. I'm going to give you 3 points for you to go and consider. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand if lifetime access is something that you want to offer to your students. So let's have a look at those 3 points to consider, and then I'll follow them up with recommendations at the end of this video. So firstly, what is a lifetime? It's not something that's easy for us to define. It's not something that's easy for us to measure. And whose lifetime are we talking about? Are we talking about your lifetime as the course creator, the lifetime of your students, the lifetime of your course until you no longer want to offer it in your business, the lifetime of the career of your students, the lifetime that you decide to use the platform that you're using before you move to a different platform? There's so many considerations to take into account to even start to measure what lifetime actually means. So start to think about that. That's the first recommendation, is consider, what does lifetime mean? And you can start to identify what the risks can be that are associated to that. And this brings us into the second point as well. I mentioned that one of the considerations is the lifetime of your course, the lifetime of the platform that you choose. So when you have a platform, if you were to ever move to this later on, move to a different platform, so for example, you might be in Thinkific now and you might move to Kajabi. If you do that, are you willing to move all of your students across and migrate all of their data? Would you be willing to do this if you exceed your student limits and you have to pay per student? And by doing so, you're paying for students where you have no recurring income from them. So the consideration is, are you willing to offer free lifetime access with no recurring income from these students? This could be something that really stops students from moving through your pipeline onto what your next offer is, whether that be another course, whether it be to work with you privately, whether it to be buy a book, whatever it is, whatever that next step is for them. If they have lifetime access, would they even get to that point? And that brings us into the third consideration. How would you motivate your students to complete your course? If you have a course, for example, that goes for 12 weeks, but you give lifetime access, someone can go into that course whenever they want across their lifetime at any point in time, and they may never complete the course. Likewise, if you were to give access to someone for a lifetime, whatever that may be, are you willing to continuously update your content so that they are receiving content that's relevant to them? For example, if you give access to someone now, today, the 26th of January 2022, and in 10 years' time, they want to come back to your course, is it actually going to be relevant for them? And are you going to be willing to update that content so it's evergreen to them? These are all some considerations to take into account when you are considering giving lifetime access. So let's now have a look into recommendations. If after all those considerations you still want to give lifetime access to your course, at a minimum, make sure that you define what lifetime access means in your terms and conditions. and that your students can access those terms and conditions easily so they know what lifetime access means to them. If, however, you're not willing to give lifetime access, but you still want to give some type of long-term access, then I recommend doing just that. Give long-term access. So let's go back to that example that I said your course was for 12 weeks. Let's say that you then offer it long-term for a year. So you say to your students that the course is for 12 weeks, but you are going to give it to them for a year. So at any time, they can kind of put it on pause and come back to it over that year time, or 6 months, whatever it may be. They might have priorities in their business, in their lives that change, or they may just want to return to your content to review it during that time. Whatever it may be, that's a way to give them long-term access without promising them lifetime access. You may also offer an extension where students can pay you to extend that time. So maybe you might offer them 6 months with the option to extend for another 6 months as they get closer to that time. Which brings me to, how do we motivate our students to be able to come back to the content and finish the course within the time we give them? And we can easily do this by communicating to them, by sending them reminder emails, by putting the expiration date in their face as they come into the course. Make it known to them that there is an expiration on that. For example, I'm doing a course at the moment, and at the very top of the page, I can see when my access expires. So consider building these into your student experience and making sure that you do let them know what their journey is, how many units they have left to go. Remind them if they haven't logged in for X amount of days. You can set all of this up in your system. No matter what system you're using, there is always a way that we can find how you can set up these automations, whether you're using integrations or they are embedded in your platform. There's always a way. Finally, you may not want to give lifetime access, nor do you want to give long-term access. There's a different solution, and that is offering memberships, where people are paying a reoccurring fee to access your content. Usually it's a monthly fee where they are accessing your content and you are constantly updating that content for all of your members. Now, I'm not going to get into a membership in this video, but it's something to keep in mind as well. So I would love to hear from you if after all of these considerations, what have you decided to do? Have you decided to give lifetime access, long-term access, or are you ready to start a membership? Remember that each week there is a new video for you about course creation. So make sure that you subscribe so that you are notified of those videos. And of course, you'll be helping me out a lot. But also, if you do have any questions that you would like me to cover in a video, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to add that to YouTube. Until next time, happy course creating. Bye for now.